This is the fifth and final part of the interpretation of Shane Parrish's clear thinking. The previous section left a thread. Scientific decision-making requires a rational evaluation of the value of each option, and assessing the value of options necessitates obtaining crucial information. So, how should we seek information relevant to decision-making? This kind of information is not learned in school, probably not found in any book, and is not part of your usual accumulation. It's something you don't know, but you know you need to know. It's something you must actively seek. In this part, let's discuss research in decision-making. In any competition or field, intelligence is crucial. When you start a new job, the first thing is to figure out who the key people are and what the crucial matters are. If your work involves knowledge, it's essential to stay current with scientific understanding. However, if you are sensitive to mediocrity, you'll notice that most people don't pay much attention to acquiring information. In an era where international peers are equipped with ChatGPT, I see many researchers who can't even use Google properly, casually screenshotting answers after a quick search. No need for high-quality answers indicates no high-quality questions, and no high-quality questions indicate mediocrity. Now, assuming you have decision awareness and know it's a significant decision-making opportunity, what kind of information should you gather? Parrish suggests two criteria for high-quality information. The first criterion is high fidelity, HiFi. This information must not only be true but also high resolution. Details matter because the devil is in the details. During World War II, the U.S. Army Air Forces in the Pacific faced a problem. Frontline reports indicated pilots refusing to fly. General George Marshall, the Army Chief of Staff, known for his exceptional leadership, found this strange. Pilots weren't afraid to die. They refused to fly because they believed the planes had issues. Marshall knew the aircraft parts were fine, and the supply to the front line was abundant. Was it that the American planes were less maneuverable than the Japanese ones? Marshall inquired, and the answer was no modification needed. So, what was the issue? Marshall personally asked the frontline commander, who didn't know. Marshall then sent his own people to the field to directly communicate with the pilots. The result? The pilots didn't trust the mechanics. Locally, there were many mosquitoes, and ground crews had to repair planes at night under bright lights, getting bitten by mosquitoes. Can you fix something under such conditions? Marshall arranged to send a lot of mosquito nets to the front line, and the problem was solved. This is called high fidelity. No matter how small, if it fits into the logical chain, it's important. Your logical chain needs to be complete. Parrish uses a metaphor, likening it to cooking in the kitchen of a fine restaurant. There's a head chef and several assembly line cooks. The assembly line cooks only handle their part, and if there's a systemic problem, they don't know what's going on. But the head chef knows. He is responsible for the logical loop. The head chef needs to inquire with the frontline cooks to know. High-fidelity information is often first-hand, on-the-scene information. Throughout history, great thinkers often used personally gathered information. High fidelity and high efficiency seem contradictory. You can't possibly do everything yourself. The key here is not detail, but subjectivity. Information is always subjective. If a map is for driving, it won't include information about flora, fauna, hydrology, geology, etc. The significance of being on-site is to subjectively select information based on the logical chain, not to do everything yourself. Parrish once worked directly under a CEO in a large company. Once, he reported a technical issue to the CEO, who immediately asked where he got the information. Parrish said it was from the vice president of that department. The CEO expressed disappointment. The CEO said, "My decisions can only be as good as my information. Information conveyed after passing through multiple filters often obscures errors. We need to know what's happening on the ground. This means it's best to ask the people directly involved, even use experimental methods for reconnaissance." The second criterion for high-quality information is high expertise, HiEx. Some knowledge only experts can provide. Consulting experts directly can save you a lot of detours and help you formulate solutions quickly. Many people hesitate to bother experts, but experts actually enjoy sharing their knowledge and experience. You've been studying in this field for years. Now you have the opportunity to help others and make a difference. It feels good. However, experts' time is valuable and shouldn't be abused. Parrish has 5 suggestions for this. 1. Respect. Paying for consultation by the hour is a good approach. The other party will respond seriously, and you will organize your language more efficiently. 2. Clearly state your request. Figure out precisely what you want the expert to do for you. Be specific. Don't hand an expert a 60-page PDF and say, "Give me some advice." What kind of advice? Ideas, writing, or action steps? Don't expect someone to rewrite it for you. 3. Do your homework. The expert must be used precisely. Show them that you already understand the problem, and you only need a key guidance. If you come in and say you have 2 investment opportunities, which one should you choose? No one wants to answer such a question that requires starting from scratch. 4. Ask about thought processes. What you want is not just an answer but the thought process behind it. What variables did the expert consider? How do those variables interact? Experts are happy to teach you how to think. 5. Provide feedback. After the matter is concluded, regardless of the outcome, give them feedback. On one hand, experts want to know if their advice was effective, and on the other hand, you can establish a long-term cooperative relationship. You have to reach this level. If you have a few experts in your circle of friends, you can always find the right person for critical issues, and your strength will be formidable. Compared to not gathering information, another mistake that is sometimes easier to make is collecting too much information. Seeking strategies for every minor thing, not being able to decide in the end, this won't work either. Parrish suggests distinguishing information gathering strategies based on the severity and reversibility of the consequences of the decision. For things with minor consequences, just go ahead. There's no need to spend time researching. For example, the earlier example of deciding what to eat at a gathering, going with the flow is the best attitude. For things with non-serious consequences and reversibility, make decisions quickly. For example, choosing a mattress, the comfort level is crucial, but often you can't feel it immediately. In this case, it's best to find a store that allows returns. Spend an hour researching, then buy and try at home. Don't spend days comparing prices and reading various online reviews. Real research effort should be put into decisions with severe consequences and irreversibility. Some people spend days researching to buy a piece of clothing but hastily decide on their university and major. Decisions like these are better off being made a bit later. But not too late. Sometimes opportunities are missed, options disappear, and the house you liked gets snatched by someone else. How do you know when to stop gathering information? The approach here is what we often call diminishing marginal returns. The information that comes in first is always the most useful. Information further down the line often has lower value. Someone conducted an experiment, giving a certain number of pieces of information to forecasters to see the relationship between the number of pieces of information and the accuracy of predictions. The conclusion was particularly interesting. Let's say there's a horse race with 10 horses, and forecasters need to determine the winner. If there's zero information, forecasters can only guess, so accuracy is only 10%. If each forecaster is given 5 pieces of information they choose, such as previous race results, jockey height and weight, etc., the accuracy increases to 17%. But that's it. Even if you give forecasters more information, like 35 pieces, their prediction accuracy remains at 17%. It seems horse racing is indeed a highly uncertain sport, suitable for gambling. But what's interesting is not this. What's interesting is that increasing the number of pieces of information from 5 to 35, although the forecaster's prediction level did not improve, their confidence in their predictions increased from 19% to 34%. More information made them greatly overestimate their accuracy, and this means they dared to bet more money than before. This is the illusion of knowledge, the side effect of information. It's not that more knowledge is always better. When you feel that your judgment is converging, and new information no longer changes your thoughts, that's when you should stop researching and start acting. Actively gathering information is a particularly interesting thing. Recognizing a problem, collecting information, consulting people, discovering the problem in the process, following new clues automatically, you'll enjoy this. You make this decision because you already understand the matter very well. The decision to act because you dare to take a gamble feels completely different, only the former can take you far. The book, Clear Thinking, has been interpreted for you. The best approach is to internalize all these methods into habits, to the point where they become part of one's character. Mediocre people are mediocre because various unnecessary troubles drain their energy and vitality. To avoid being drained, you need to grow a different neural network. Over time, you'll handle things with ease. Parrish says you'll spend less and less time solving troubles because those troubles shouldn't exist in the first place. You'll find that different aspects of life harmoniously blend together, your stress and anxiety decrease, and happiness increases. My reflection is that clear thinking is also a form of identity. For others, we shouldn't use simple categories to summarize a person. We should emphasize that a person's character is complex and will show different facets in different situations. However, for yourself, you hope you do so well that you can always provide positive expectations, so that others say, that's just how you are.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.